Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I am your host today, Luke, and our episode today is called Lemon Cakes and Water Dancing. We are recording on August 12th, 2018, doing Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 5, First of His Name. As always, we are joined by Ben, a.k.a. Sly of House McLean.
Howdy.
And via satellite, obviously, and also Abby Gertie of House Condescension. How are you?
Not so bad, and you?
Oh, not so bad, and you.
I had a stutter step.
We are not joined by Glenn of House Dog. He's got to work real early tomorrow, and we got a late start. But hey, DA in the chat, and hey, Bailey in the chat. Glad you guys could join us.
Hey, Ben.
All right.
Dan.
So what are you guys drinking? I guess we gotta do that every time, right?
Yeah, I have a Blue Moon mango wheat.
Oh, Mom. Abby, what do you got?
I have a Duplin wine, not Black River Red.
White River Red.
No, this one's, I think it's new, or I've just never heard of it. Pelican Red.
Pelican Red.
Yep.
You're not even on camera. We can't see that.
I'm not?
There you go. Now I can see it.
Okay.
Go to the other camera. You're on 3D.
Yeah, sorry. Yep, got it.
And,
I see it now.
I'm going through a selection of free beers that showed up at my house on Wednesday after parties in the park. You'll hear about that consistently. So, yeah, you guys ready to get into this recap that we got from last episode? Abby, tell us what happened last episode.
Last episode, the Marinese fight for their freedom. Jaime believes Tyrion did not kill GBP. And in fact, Lady Olenna, he doesn't believe this, but Lady Olenna had a hand in it. Marjorie visits Tommen, and Brienne and Pod set off on a quest. Sansa's on a boat. Jon gives some lessons and is allowed to make a trip back north. And according to himself, Carl is a legend.
I was a fucking legend.
And he captures Bran and company. And the last of Craster's sons... The last Craster son gets new eyes.
My brand.
My special eyes.
My special eyes. All right, so we are going to get into Season 4, Episode 5. This episode was 53 minutes, and it aired on May 4th, 2014. This, again, was directed by Michelle McLaren. I'm sure there was so much chemistry that it wasn't even funny.
It was probably almost nuclear.
And, yeah, it probably was. And this was written by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Oh, yeah. Benj, what was that episode description?
Episode description is Cersei and Tywin plot the crown's next move. Dany discusses future plans. Jon Snow embarks on a new mission.
Sounds like a Game of Thrones episode. All right, let's get into Quill and Tankard pub trivia. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. I think this could be an easy one, but I've been wrong a lot for trivia. So, question. Opening scene. Tommen is named king. Which 3 of the 7 gods are called upon to guide young King Tommen Baratheon, first of his name? You guys about ready for thumbs up? Thumbs up from Abby.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from Benji. We'll play that beautiful bean music.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
I'm sure on
Right,
2.
go ahead and hit enter. I see from Benji, father, warrior, mother. I see from Abby, father, warrior, Smith. 2 for 3 for both of you. The 2 in common are the ones that you've got. The 3 are the warrior. Actually, no. You guys are 1 for 3. You both got the warrior.
Yes.
You both said father, which was not one of them. Benji said mother. No. Smith was definitely one of them. Warrior, Smith, and Crone.
Crone.
So
Really?
for wisdom. The Crone's for wisdom.
I didn't really even catch that they were in there.
Smith, I figured I was
Like-
sure on that one. So, I was going back and forth on the mother and Smith.
Mhm. So a 3/7 guess. You know, I thought that was pretty fair.
It was.
The maiden was a pretty easy one to rule out, I think.
Yeah.
So if you guys will qualify that as a gettable question, I'll take my point.
Yes.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's fair. It was said.
Alrighty. So, good effort, everyone. Glenn probably would have gotten them, but he's not here. So, let's get into the episode. We can go to the opening credits, and there was something new. I saw this. Benji had written this down, and I said, I need to double check that because I believe him, but it's still a little surprising.
Yeah.
The top billed actor, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, instead
And
of
I have-
the Dink.
I have issues with this.
I saw your note later, and we will get into it, I believe.
Yes.
And then we go to King's Landing, Dragonstone, Dreadfort, Winterfell, The Wall, and Meereen. Nothing else really new aside from was Peter Dinklage even named in
No.
there? Okay,
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Named?
I don't think
I
he
don't
was
believe so,
because if
no.
he wasn't top, if you ain't
Yeah.
first, you're last, and by that, you're not even in there. So. Let's go to King's Landing first, where we have Tommen, Marjorie, Cersei, High Septon, and the rest of the court. Tommen is crowned king, and Cersei propositions Marjorie, I guess. Abby, kick us off here.
My question or comment is who is playing whom, or is it whom is playing who, or is it who is playing who, regardless of the semantics.
Regardless of grammar.
Exactly. Who is playing who or whom? I don't know.
The correct
Not
answer
sure.
is yes.
The correct answer is yes.
Yeah. I mean,
And they're
Like,
asking
does
themselves that same question.
yeah, does she know that she's playing her and I know she's playing me? And then I know she knows I'm playing her. Like, it's just so many levels of levels. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, because there are times where both, you're talking mainly about Cersei and Marjorie, correct?
Yeah, it's right here.
And
Like,
both of these actresses, these actors, freaking kill it, right? I mean, like, because they make you question each side of it on both ways. It's like, okay, well, each one has the upper hand for like a split second, but then the other one still has the upper hand like throughout the entire thing. So it's
yes.
really, really well done, and it's a good question. It's a good question.
I also wonder about like Marjorie. I mean, like you said, it's just back and forth the whole time. But they like will do a pause and like question, like work through their lines. I don't know. It was just interesting to watch.
Yeah, my thought on that portion of the scene was, he sits the throne like he was born to it. Yes, but he wasn't, was he? Like, instantly, Cersei calls back to, yeah, he does, but it's not his by rights. And then she gets into more candid talk. And, like, the whole time, it's interesting to see Cersei in this role of being genuine with Marjorie, and I can see where
At times.
Marjorie's questioning what are the motives on this, and there are times where Marjorie plays it off super smooth, like, oh, I honestly hadn't thought about the future at all. Funny as it may seem, and like she, like, just the way she plays it, it looks so genuine. We know she's full of shit, but
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ben, just take it away.
Yeah, because I kind of agree with you on that with my notes. It's basically, Cersei is hard to read here if you don't have the insight like the viewer does. But her body language is basically full of anger. Like, she's cut off, she's crossing her arms, she's tensed up. But what she's saying, she's being very complimentary towards Marjorie, and basically saying, that you will help Tommen to be the best. And also going back to your point, Luke, of he looks like he was born to it. Yes, but he wasn't, was he? I kind of read that as a double entendre kind of thing of, our secret, or I think you know our secret about Tommen and Joffrey and all of them.
But it's in your best interest not to bring that to light.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I read that first part of, yeah, he was the second born son, but really I'm meaning he's not even Robert's heir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Glenn has a couple of good notes here as well. He says Tommen and Marjorie exchange a look from across the room, right? And like the only one that notices it is Cersei. She's the only that kind of intercepts this. And then his final note here is Cersei and Marge definitely don't seem to be playing all of their cards, but like they're showing parts of their hand to gain trust or kind of challenge the other person. And I don't think either one of them are lying on many of these things. Marjorie tells half truths, and so does Cersei, but they're both playing the game. And two very, very such good chemistry in this scene. Any final thoughts? Good. I thought it was an interesting scene for sure.
Very good. Yeah, very good scene.
All right, so let's move on to our next scene in King's Landing with Cersei and Tywin. Another meeting of the masters here. They talk weddings and banking and family. Benj.
The Iron Bank is the Iron Bank. When one stone crumbles and another takes its place, the temple stands for 1,000 years. It's interesting to see here a twinge of fear from Tywin about defaulting on the bank, because he basically called it out. We don't have any gold. You know how much gold's been pulled out? The same as it was the year before and the year before. It
doesn't matter what units you're using, because she was like in ounces, in tons. He's like, doesn't matter. It's the same number.
Yeah, and so you can see he's scared. He's like, he's not scared of Robb Stark. He's not scared of Stannis Baratheon. He's scared of the Iron Bank. Sure. And so that's why he's like, we need these marriages. We need this shit to get done.
He's a realist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abby, continue on him being a realist.
Well, he's a realist. That's why I like Tywin. And I mean, I don't know. I always like their scenes together because Cersei, I like when she kind of gets put in her place or told, I don't know. Tywin for me kind of gives it to her like nobody else will.
She feels like he thinks, and I think he knows, and we know, she's a little too big for her britches.
Yes.
And he calls her out on it. And I see our scene got switched, so I'm going to change this back so we can actually see the scenes, and I'll start flipping through those. My bad, folks.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Instead of Glenn's empty chairs.
Yeah, what happened? How'd that change? And now it's just me. What the hell?
But at least you're handsome.
When? We have lost our screen caps somehow. Abby, keep talking. And also, can you check your audio input?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't really have any other thoughts on this scene, but...
So I'll figure this out. My other thought here was the line that Tywin has that I didn't like your husband. Used to pat me on the back a lot. I didn't trust him. It's just kind of, that was just kind of funny that he was like, I think it's like physically, Robert was clearly like a charismatic, probably a kind of a touchy guy. I think
he was a hugger.
Clear. Yeah, he's a hugger, and that is not the Lannister way. That's very much not them. And I just thought that's pretty funny.
How does this sound? Am I any better?
Sounds the same. I don't know.
What's the issue? Maybe that's another reason why I like Tywin, is because please don't touch me. Like, unnecessary touching is unnecessary touching. Don't touch me.
I liked Glenn has a good note here of them talking about Marjorie and Tommen's wedding. No 77-course meals. The mines in the Westerlands have run dry, so they need the Tyrells pay the Iron Bank. But where he's like, yeah, we're not doing the 77 courses. We're not doing the doves on the cake. We're not doing the goddamn midgets on horseback. We're getting this wedding done, and we're gonna be happy about it.
We almost have our screen caps back.
There we go.
Almost. Thanks for bearing with us, chat. You guys are incredibly special to us because you put up with us for shit like...
Hey, look at my new shirt, chat.
This.
Can you read it?
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king. It's a good shirt. That's a good shirt. Where'd you get that shirt?
I made it.
I made it, she says.
I think on the front you should have, just in small writing, like on the, like right here, something like, on the other side, the king is tired. Or, like,
that's funny. I had...
That's funny.
The
king is clearly tired.
I did have hashtag Team Tywin to go underneath it, but I felt that was a little too Team Jacob
Oh, yeah.
esque. So I was like, maybe not.
Twilighty.
Yes. So I was like, maybe I had to think of a new one. That's a good one though, Benj.
All right.
The king is
We
tired.
should have our screen caps back. There's Tommy getting his hat. There's the pictures. Sorry, catching up to speed. Look how beautiful these women are.
Very. And look at her mouth. I love
We'll
it.
come back to that. So, yeah, again, the screen caps give us some new opportunities to talk about things. And I know we've touched on this before, but like Natalie Dormer's constant half smirk, it plays into the character so well. And it's just a natural thing that her face does.
Yeah, it was because she had something as a kid. But
it's just like natural, permanent dimples that play into the like makes you question everything she's doing because everything has a smirk to it. Everything.
It kind of looks like half, not full blown, but half resting bitch face, almost. Like
she can use it that way.
Yes, it's very good.
All right, so we have. I think that wraps us up for Cersei and Tywin. We then have Cersei and Oberyn, right?
Yes. And I will apologize now because I just realized that, the photos are not in order.
Screen caps are not in order. Do we want to try to jump to follow the screen caps or have me click through photos?
I said jump the photos. Like,
okay. Bing, bing, bing. Here's a blitz through other things that we're going to see.
The entire episode.
Oh, this can go fuck away.
Here, I can give you the number.
There's Cersei and Tywin. There was other scene that we had.
Sorry about that.
We'll get better at this. This is the first time me driving the photos. Oh, here we go. Okay, we are at Cersei and Oberyn. Here we go. A leisurely stroll is taken through the garden where children and vengeance are discussed. Oberyn, sees a bit of a new light in Cersei here. Because he kind of shows her she shows him some genuine motherly love for Marcella. Like just with I couldn't be there for her name day. So like, can you please bring this gift back with you or send it to her. And, at the very end of the scene, his eyes towards her are surprised, I think. Kind of like, either you're way, way better at playing this game than I gave you credit for, or you're being genuine. Any thoughts on that?
No, I definitely do agree that, I think she's being a bit honest with him, because that kind of ties into my note of Cersei genuinely believes Tyrion is guilty. It's not just her forcing this on him. She honestly believes that he did this, and so she's being honest with Oberyn, at least the most honesty that Cersei's able to give.
I think Oberyn is slightly skeptical of her. Maybe not slightly, maybe very. He's just good at playing his part. Other than that, Cersei caring about Marcella is, I feel like, a very genuine thing. She does feel like that. But I don't know. I don't know how to read Oberyn. I don't think Cersei should trust him. I think I can trust him.
Okay, I think that's pretty well said. They're definitely at political odds, and it's interesting. I know I say that a lot. There's a lot of interesting character interactions that happen in these, and that's kind of the cool thing about the way this show has so many characters that we've come to get, gotten to know. That when you first really see them interact and things change around them, that's really what makes this such a compelling story. I think there's so many characters that matter that you can throw just two of these people together and they have such great chemistry that it just works, Yeah.
Definitely.
So Glenn's note here was, what is power if you can't use it to protect your loved ones? You can avenge them. So it's a pretty good point by Cersei, right? You know, like it's what's the use of having power if you don't actually fucking do something with it? And if those are the things you care about, use it for them. Like that to me, that seems like a genuine statement from her.
Yeah, and one other genuine one was when Oberyn says, "We don't hurt little girls in Dorne. They hurt little girls everywhere." You know, that's telling. I mean, like I said, she's scared.
It's true too.
Like, I mean, there was also the comment in this scene that, you know, there's monsters everywhere. Like they nowhere treats little girls well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that I forget the exact line, but she's like, there are monsters to little girls everywhere. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the line. Yeah, I just said they basically in Dorne. He was like,
sorry,
you know, they're like, we don't hurt little girls in Dorne, and she goes, they hurt little girls everywhere.
Yep, sorry, just a little
distracted.
No.
I'm kind of am as well, so you're fine. But you know, it was a good scene. Seeing these two, and it was well shot. I mean, this was probably one of the most beautiful scenes I've seen in a while with the gardens, and as we talked last week, the dress, the
costumes,
the costuming, and yeah, you know, it was really well done and really just kind of, you know, just perfect for the two of them. And even that opening shot of over the water with him writing his poem to his daughter, you know, and that's showing how
playwright, not a very good one.
What's that?
She's like, I didn't know you were a playwright, and he's like, not a very good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely beautiful landscapes and just really, really well shot. Good colors. I like it. It's almost autumn colors in the leaves, right? I wonder if fall is coming.
Thought winter was.
Well, we're still in summer, sweet summer child.
Gotcha.
Oh, we got AK, Alicia Kingston in the chat. What's up? How's it going? Glad you can make it. We are about to head to Marine. Want to take that Jojen train to Marine? Jojen. Let's see if I can get the... which numbers were they? 80? Let's reverse spoil some of the episodes we'll be talking about here soon. And bam, there we go. All right, so we have Dany, Jorah, Barristan, Grey Worm, Dany 2.0, Dari 2.0, sorry, and Missandei. News of GBP's demise reaches Meereen. Dany's grip on the bay is slipping, and she decides to rule. Abby.
Well, Dany ruling, I think, is a very mature choice. Not the easiest choice, but I think it has good thought process behind it, so I support that. It surprised me when she said that she wasn't like full steam ahead for Westeros, because it does seem, you know, the king has just died. Things are still kind of scrambling there, and I was surprised that that was her choice, but I do feel like the logic behind it is sound.
Yeah, definitely. Benj, thoughts on this scene?
Sorry, who told you to take the fleet? No one. I heard you like ships. You know, Dari 2.0 really making that push. Even Barristan seems to be impressed with him. You know, he's like trying to his hardest. But you can see Barristan like, yeah, you know, we need ships. We can take King's Landing with 10,000, and you know he's on board with going home. You know, you can tell that he's ready to kind of book it out of Marine. Just, you know, let them be who they're going to be. Let them do what they're going to do. You're not meant to be here. So I thought that was an interesting play on how Barristan handled the situation.
Yeah, Barristan's reaction here is also kind of nuanced, I think. There's some interesting things that he says. You know, he's really sure that the old houses are going to flock to Dany's banners. And it really forces Dany to make a tough choice. And because... And I think, you know, I'll flip to the picture that we have of, you know, Jorah, and she really looks to Jorah here as, hey, you've been a really good advisor to me. You know, you counseled me against being brash in Karth. It worked out pretty well for me. They have a nice little kind of cute chuckle there together. But then she's like, she realizes that's not always going to work, being brash. Like, she's clearly learning some leadership skills here, and definitely seems to value his input on the state of Westeros as opposed to. I was a little surprised that Barristan wasn't brought into this also. I mean, he's more of the Kingsguard, and Jorah seems to be kind of up-leveled a bit to not just protector of Dany, but truly a counselor. And I just thought that was kind of interesting that he was able to speak to her so well. You know, I think he knows exactly where she's coming from and gives her the information. He lays it out flat. These are the shitty things that are going on around here. If we leave, it's going to go exactly back to where it was. And then all of this was kind of for naught. And he doesn't make that choice for her. He just says, he kind of just lays it out. This is really difficult, but here's what's going to happen. And then she makes her own decision. I'm glad that he kind of led her to a spot where he let her make the choice. And I think it makes them a pretty solid team.
Yeah.
I think that if we were in Westeros, that he would be like the hand of the king or queen, Jorah to Dany.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her right hand man, and having some just facts. You just drop facts and make your decision based on that was nice.
Right.
No slant, no nothing.
Right, because he's bringing up, you left Astapor and it's been taken over by a butcher, named Cleos, and
I had that one thinking that'd be the question.
Yeah, it wasn't though, was it? I don't know. It's just I think they're learning how to rule together, and I think she makes, again, not doing the right thing is almost never the easy thing. The easy thing would be to go take the Iron Throne right now. Like that seems to be like, oh, it's ripe for picking. Go do it. We can probably manage this. But the right thing is probably learn how to actually rule before you try to do that, so that if you get there and it sticks, that it actually sticks. I don't know. Final thoughts here?
No, decent scene. This is one where a lot of first-time watchers typically are like, really? What about the dragons? When are the dragons getting there? It's supposed to take it over. But this is the right call, looking back on it and everything. This is what she feels she needs to do. So can't blame her for it.
All right, Abby, you want to start up that Jojen train for us? We're going to go to the Eyrie.
Jojen.
All right. Woo, Jojen. We're going to go to the Jojen train. We're going to go to the Vale, the Eyrie. And we see Microfinger, Sansa, Sweet Robin, Lysa, and Sansa and Microfinger arrive at the Vale. Lysa provides some interesting information. So, the walk up to the Vale I thought was really, really cool. I'm glad you got some screen caps of this, Benj. It's, again, really, really well shot.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It makes you feel, at least for me, like how impenetrable this place really is. What a good plot of land they have picked. Because how do you get up there? Like, how do you take it over? You don't.
Yeah. Like, if you're the last one or the next one or two more. Yeah, that one.
Oof, yeah.
Like, you have to come down the entire gully to that gate and then climb that mountain.
Right.
And this is... So the mountain that it sits on is called the Giant's Lance, and this is such an abbreviated version of what it is in the book, because there are 3 gates that are like a huge trek to even get to on the way up to the Eyrie in the books, and it definitely sounds like even way more impenetrable than what this image is showing. And this still looks like, how are you gonna? You can't siege that. Like, where are you gonna go from?
Yeah, exactly. Like this is one that's why, if you're going to be anywhere in Westeros or Planetos, if you want to live, get to the Eyrie. No one's coming up there.
Just looks cool.
Except really for cool. Bronn and a few climbing cleats.
Right. He makes that joke in season 2? 1. That was season 1. Yeah.
Give me a pair of climbing cleats and 2 good men, and I'll impregnate the bitch.
All right. Abby, thoughts on this scene?
Okay, so I'm going to move us a little further down in this scene.
I
don't
saw
know if
your
you're coming.
tweet about this too. Did you tweet about
Yeah,
this episode?
I did tweet about this. It's
Yeah.
my first official Game of Thrones tweet because I'm very careful about
Welcome
tweeting.
to Twitteros.
I try not to because I don't want people to come back with spoiler information. So
Luckily, the person that responded knew who you were.
yes,
And
exactly.
It was awesome.
So we'll see. Maybe my prediction this time will be that Tyrion eats Ghost. We'll see. I don't know. So we get to the point in this scene where Lysa is like, oh, but Microfinger, nobody can love you like I love you. I even poisoned my husband for you. What the fuck did you just say, Lysa?
Did you catch what she said after that too?
Probably not, because all I heard was she poisoned John Aaron, wrote the letters to Catelyn.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Ned Stark is dead. Winterfell has fallen and burned because of you, Lysa.
Yep.
I hate you. You are my number one hated character from now on. Bam, done.
Yeah, so my note, that kind of ties into my note. It's a Simpsons reference, but oh my god, I was wrong. It was Petire all along, from the Planet of the Apes, the musical. But so since the beginning, it's been because of this one dude. This one fucking dude is the reason for
And
all of
Lysa,
this.
though.
Well, but under his guise, under his direction.
I know, but
So-
I'm more mad at her than him. You don't do that to your sister.
Because Abby knows that he's a total scumbag at this point. I mean,
Yes.
he doesn't
Yes.
so this is a little bit new. She knew that Liza was odd, right?
Odd.
Like,
Yes.
a little attached to her son, a little overprotective,
And
but,
was
there
like-
wasn't anything like this before.
When she said she wasn't going to like support Rob, I believe, like, I'm not going to send my men from here. All right, this sounds like some crazy woman. All right, you're crazy. But literally betraying her sister has set her entire sister's family, set them to death. Like,
Yeah.
You're right. Petire is the mind behind all of this.
But the fact that she
awful.
goes through with it.
Yes. And it's her sister. I don't know.
So I am going to kind of jump to Glenn's note here, if that's all right, Luke. Just the first part. So Robin is pretty much the new baby pussy. I'm going to go with SBP, the sickly baby pussy.
SPP.
Can we agree upon that?
I think we can agree on that. So,
yeah.
Canon on the podcast that drinks and knows things. Sweet Robin, Robert Aaron, Lord of the Vale, is sickly baby pussy. All right, so that's canon on the show now. Yeah, I don't know, Benj, you're killing it with these screen caps. So that like this one that's up here right now looks so cool on the
I like
Weirwood
that
throne
one.
that they have there.
Yeah.
Or the driftwood. I forget which. I think it's the Weirwood throne.
Yeah, Driftwood is Iron Islands. That might be a Weirwood, yeah.
It's the Weirwood crown. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to say things that I can't back up right now. But yeah, no, dude, Liza freaking just goes off the deep end here, right? I mean, SBP, is that contagious? I think so. Yeah, I think that shit's contagious. But yeah, like the other thing about this is Liza, kind of talks about marrying Sansa, how they had to marry Sansa to that troll Tyrion, and Sansa's reaction to that was like everything that we've kind of said about those two, right? Like she didn't hate him at all.
Yeah.
Like it took her a second to get used to the idea, right? I mean, and that's fair. Her growing up in a fantasy land in her head, and this just not being the knight in shining armor. But we saw how Joffrey was that, and it didn't work out for her. So, like, I think she, over time, kind of came to respect Tyrion, and, again, probably could have made it work in the long run.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
Sorry.
No,
Go ahead. No.
Liza's predisposition towards hating him is so the same as what we saw from season 1.
Yeah, and now, especially with the whole John Aaron thing, why? We know why, where does this hatred come from?
I think it's the standard dwarf Lannister hate stuff.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, very well could
But
be.
yeah, it shouldn't
it's
be
just
nearly
one of
as
those
deep seated as you killed my husband, like as everything
Yeah.
that's. I'm with you. That's a good point.
Yeah, and kind of, but going back a little bit before that scene too, with going back to Robin really quick, I just thought about it. Microfinger gives him the bird, the mockingbird glass piece,
Oh yeah,
and throws it right out the fucking door.
fucking dick, like
It's just
sickly baby pussy.
sickly baby pussy. And I do like Glenn's note here. I doubt people across the narrow sea can hear her scream. Because she's like, I'm going to scream all night long. And all that. And like if you jump 2 pictures or so, but yeah, the Septon's standing right outside the door on the next one. It's that shit ready.
That was the second half of my note. Like, this is one of the funniest moments, like, all season, right? I mean, this is a great season. I think overall it's been one of the best. And
it's one of the better comedy. Yeah, it definitely has the high comedy too.
And this is so funny. Like, just instantly, he's like, let me go, take a shower. Like, basically, let me go put some deodorant on. And she's like, oh, walking to the door. Here's the door. Here's the Septon. Let's do this. It's hilarious.
One thing
She's
that I don't
thirsty.
Yeah.
She wants those micro fingers.
Oh, God,
And fine, gonna be from the book kind of thing. But one thing, because we don't get the internal monologue, is he wants to do it in front of the veil of the Lords of the Veil, because he wants them to know, we're married. Mm-hmm. This is legit. This isn't just some, scheming or, plotting kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is scheming. Never mind. Speculations. Here we go. We'll save that.
So, but then, Luke, if you go one more picture.
Sure.
There's...
Yeah, you know these better than I do. So.
Yeah, this one. I like Sansa laying awake as Lysa enjoys her wedding night.
Yeah, and
she's
Sansa
just rolling her eyes. Oh, my God. When is it over?
Yeah.
I like Microfinger kissing her to shut up. Like... She's like spilling the guts of all the travesties that they have committed together, and he's just like, "All right, insert tongue now."
Right. that's putting a sock in her mouth, right? Like in that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's like, "If we don't talk about it, it didn't happen." So like, shut the fuck up. Like,
what did you not understand about that, you horrible woman? Ugh.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that we are about to go to our final scene in the Eyrie. We have Sansa and Lysa, and I have to go to some new pictures. Again, sorry for spoilers for things we haven't talked about yet. And we have Sansa and Lysa. Lemon cakes are shared and accusations are made.
So I'm going to start this one, Luke.
Benj, start it.
God damn it, can't set to catch one fucking break. From one crazy to another.
To another. Classic.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just think, you know what, Sansa, if you want a lemon cake, have a fucking lemon cake. Don't let no bitch tell you what to eat, make you feel bad about it. You do you, boo-boo, and fuck the haters. Like, how dare you tell a young lady what she can and cannot eat? Nope, not today. Not today.
What do we tell the god of lemon cakes? Yes,
eat them all.
Yes, today.
Again, the correct answer is yes.
Like in our society today, we'd be like, oh my God, they're going to give her some complex, some eating disorder, some type of body dysmorphia. Like, how awful. That's, terrible woman all around. I think everything she does from now on, I'll just microscopically pick it apart to hate it.
Yeah, and then she calls out her cat. She's like, yeah, Cat was a fat kid too. She used to eat all the sweets and all this, and then until my father.
Do you think that was true?
Yeah,
Abby, what do you think?
When I say fat, sorry, I don't think she was fat. I think she probably was thick. Probably had put a little weight on this and that, but I don't think she was like a chubby kid.
Hey.
Just you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, she probably had that just full figured.
Concern from one point to another, like if this continues down a path. I don't know. I think that this is so manipulative here to make Sansa question what she's doing, to question like her upbringing, her things her mother have said to her, or other side of the coin, that wasn't Kat at all. And Lysa would have known that she would have been very particular about how her children ate. Like, you need to eat your healthy stuff, then
Abby, are we losing you, or is my internet going slow?
Well, I'm losing you.
Me.
Losing her too.
Okay, Abby, your internet's going a little slow right now.
sorry.
Yeah, you got really robot-y on us there. We couldn't quite hear you.
Oh, well, then I'll just do like Glenn and repeat what I was saying.
Do you?
That is actually
working
Are you
better.
playing? Are you playing
how
the
about now?
YouTube video? Are you playing the?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to turn it off?
No, just drop the quality, hit the settings in the video, drop it all the way down to 144. That's gonna save your bandwidth,
Okay.
and that should help us out a lot.
Help you? Okay. Cool. It's done.
All right.
How's that sound?
Sounds great, and your image cleared up and everything. So,
Wow.
please say the brilliant comment that you were saying, because we deserve to hear it.
So Sansa and Lysa here, I think that possibly Kat could have been this child that she's talking about, or that wasn't Kat at all, and maybe it was Lysa, in fact, who they're like, Lysa, stop eating that. Who knows, really? But I think
Say that.
the only comment was made, only to mindfuck Sansa, knowing that Catelyn would have been very particular about how her children ate. Like, they need to eat their healthy things. You have your healthy things, and then you can have your sweets. But to say here, but Lysa being smart enough to know that somehow in Sansa's like young mind, she's gonna twist it to, oh my god, my mom thought I was fat, like type thing. I don't know. Girls are crazy.
Yeah, I definitely felt like, well, I'm not saying girls are crazy, but they are for the record.
Allowing themselves to think like allowing themselves to think the worst within themselves. Us ladies seem to have a hard time switching that off. I'm just going to speak on behalf of us. Let all that negative stuff and self-doubt go. But I think it's very much a young lady, that self-doubt, or how does this tie to me, worry. I don't know.
And Lysa definitely understands that, and or still lives that.
She
has not gotten over it, and
she's not beyond that age.
She's using it to manipulate Sansa. Is how I took it. That's why I was like, I don't know if Kat really was, or if this is just something that she's using to make Sansa second guess everything in her life.
Yeah, no, agreed. And Abby, to your point, I think it's probably more likely that you're right, that she's, if anything, she's using her own experience and just putting it on Kat, so.
Well said. Well said. Finishing in the Vale, I think. All right. Jojen train down to the Riverlands. We are going
all aboard.
All aboard, Jojen train. Next stop, Riverlands. We are going to go to Arya and the Hound. I think it's actually the other set. No, it was that one, wasn't it? This one here.
Yep.
And we have Arya and Hound. And a prayer is explained. And so this is, again, this is one of those duos that it's just always entertaining. And she's, say, I can't sleep until all the names, until I say all the names. And he's like, the names of every fucking person in Westeros. Because, to him, he's just laying there, and she's going through this completely fucking random list of people that he knows, most of them, Meryn Trant, all these people, the Queen, the Mountain. One, he's probably like, how does she know these people? And then he's like, what the fuck why is she saying their names? Every fucking person in Westeros.
Yeah, and he's like, I love the question of, if your brother was here right now, what would you do? I'd tell him to shut the fuck up so I can go to sleep. He's like, you're going to kill the Mountain, Well, you have to use like a fucking toothpick.
Right.
You know. But Glenn has a great note that goes along with the last cap here, Luke. Next one. Yeah, I believe it's that one. So Arya said, he says, so finish your list. And when she goes, I only have one name left. And when he says the hound's name, he gives her a look like, you bitch. And it's I think I got it pretty decently in that one there, where his eyes just pop open like, what? Oh, come on.
Like, really? Like,
I think he feels like after all this time, everything we've been
Thanks, Severus
through.
Snape.
Yes, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, he has killed to protect her multiple times at this point. Groups of people, right? I mean, there were 2 specific groups of people that he killed because of her
she ran
and
in.
for her.
She ran in, and he's like, oh shit, I guess I'm the backup. Like.
Right. Like, do you think she even, like, thinks of Micah anymore? Abby, who's Micah?
He's the butcher's boy.
Perfect. Do you think that she's still dead set on that? Is that, like, the main reason that she says him right now, or is there something else?
I don't know. I mean, I think Arya is one of those people who have a hard time letting things go. So Micah was like the nail in the coffin already, and then there's some other little nitpicky incidences where he doesn't live up to her moral code, where she's like, see, exactly why he's on my list.
But did you notice there was a couple names on there that I was kind of surprised by, because I don't even remember if they were book-wise names, but Beric and Thoros.
Oh, she did say them, didn't she?
Were both mentioned before. And so I was kind of surprised about that. I mean, it makes sense, though, because she's pissed at him about Gendry, selling Gendry off and letting the Hound go. So it was just, I thought that was an odd one. But yeah, her anger, whatever, still towards the Hound. I think it's just because the once you get the list in your head, you have to finish,
DA adds a good comment here that it's kind of the Lannister association after, seeing Ned get killed, Nedhead. And I think that's a good point that she saw him there, right? He was up on the stage. I don't think she personally holds him accountable, but the fact that he was involved at all and he's close at hand, like, yeah, that's the primary person that she can actually look at right now.
I also feel like Arya is very much, I think I've already said, I think she's going to be a faceless man or whatever, what's his name was.
Jaqen H'ghar.
Yeah. I think at some point we're going to see that. I feel like she has named him, and he is going to have to do something great to be unnamed if we're using that type of like analogy in my head. Like, I think he can get unnamed, but at this point, just keeping her alive isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Like, one right doesn't make up for the wrong, or whatever, Davos says so eloquently. But I just think she's that type of person. Like, yeah, you've done me a couple solids, but you still suck. So there's going to have to be. Yes, Stannis.
A good act does not wash out the bad, nor a bad the good.
Thank you. You know what I was talking about.
One of my favorites. Yep. Stannerman.
Stannerman. Okay.
But yeah, and the final thought I have on her naming him and not letting it go is she probably still is a little sour that he is still using her as a ransom. Like, that's still the mentality that he has. He hasn't come out and said, hey, I want to adopt you. Like, that's not the mentality. That's not the relationship that they have. It's still a business transaction for him. And she, I don't know, kind of feels downtrodden on because of that, if that is fair.
I'm nothing more than a payday to you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I have one more thought on this. We talk all the time, about the great chemistry in this show.
All the time.
And I feel like every single time Arya, I love her, sorry, I'm biased, but we talk about her and Charles Dance, her and the Hound. Like, every single time it's such this strong, I mean, even in the first episode, I think, when the king comes and Ned slaps her on the head with the helmet. Like
what the
she's standing.
What the hell? Like, why are you wearing this helmet?
Yes, toe to toe with these like famous, big named actors, or just
8.5 years old.
Right. And I don't know what their rules are, Game of Thrones wise, for the actors being in other things or whatever. But at 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, imagine what she's going to be like in a year from now. Like what she could take on.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
No,
She's awesome.
I definitely get a Emma Watson style vibe from her, where it's kind of she's pretty much can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. Who was the other girl I was trying to think of? Who plays Kat? Could you imagine Arya playing Katniss Everdeen?
Yes.
That'd be awesome too.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Any final thoughts on Arya and the Hound here? If not, we will go to Arya and Hound 2. Number 112. All right. So, this is Arya practicing her dancing, and Hound teaches the importance of equipment. I'm gonna go ahead and start off here, and since Benji wrote like all of the fucking lines in this scene, I'll just leave all the good comments to him. Abby, you want to get yours in now, or I mean, we could talk about Glenn's first because Benji wrote like all of the fucking lines in this scene.
I'll go last. I'd like to be last.
All right, Benj, just go ahead and take it away.
Well, this is what you get when I do all the screen setups.
You still can't sing every fucking line. No, go for it. It's brilliant. I love this.
It's literally only one line. The greatest sword to ever lived, killed by Meryn fucking Trent. He didn't have a sword on him. The greatest fucking swordsman didn't have a sword. And the chuckle he gives just completes it. Like there's just like a and that I lose it every time I watch that.
So funny.
And then the final note I have is, do you legit think she was trying to stab him? Like, trying to put the sword through the armor? Or do you think she knew the armor would stop it?
I think she knew the armor would stop it, but her intent was to make him know, I will kill you.
That's fair.
I mean, I know. I don't think that she thought it would be fatal if it did puncture him, but I think she was trying to hurt him. I mean, because Sirio Farrell, that's her boy. I mean, that's Ned level, that's Jockin level. I mean, if you're going against one of those, like these are. So we talked about John's mentors last episode. These are Arya's mentors, right? And like we see how fierce she is on everything. Like everything that she cares about, fierce is the word. And he's blatantly calling it out, being like, I don't care if it was an unfair fucking fight. If he's the greatest swordsman, like whatever. Like
and laughing about him.
Yeah.
How insulting.
Right. Yeah, like that. Number one, not cool. Like he can't do that. In Arya's book, you can't do that. And she wasn't trying to kill him there. I don't think so. But she was trying to hurt him and prove that, hey, it's not worthless, the stuff that I know and the skill set that I have. It's a very particular set of skills. But there she is. Look at her standing sideways and everything. Left-handed to keep him off balance.
Do you know the story with that, Luke, with the left-handed thing?
The fact that she is left-handed and the character's left-handed?
Maisie is right-handed. She learned how to sword fight left-handed.
Oh, really?
There's
your face. The greatest swordsman in the world, killed by Meryn fucking Trant.
He kind of looks like Ron Hogan there.
Three wet three wet unarmed squires could take out Meryn fucking Trent. It was something along those lines.
Yeah. The greatest swordsman in the world didn't have a fucking sword.
Yeah.
This shot right here, we see again where Arya, who I think it's safe to say she's a badass. Like I feel like Game of Thrones fans will feel like she is a force to be reckoned with. But again, we see her like bested. Over and over again, we see Arya bested. So it's just another knockdown to, dust herself back up from. My note for this scene is, no. This can't be true. 04E05, like, he's dead? But did he die? Do we know this? I'm still holding out hope.
Excellent question.
He's dead. I don't know. If Arya thinks he's dead, I guess I think he's dead. But she didn't see him die. He's the greatest swordsman.
By the end of this year, I will give you my theory. Not this year. By the end of season 8, once we make it all the way around, because this may be something that's not covered in the show. But I'm holding out hope.
Hmm.
Well, you're also giving things away by saying that. So, anyway.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Well, I do. Anyway. All right. Any final thoughts on what did Glenn have to say about this? Glenn had to say, Hound is a realist here. 1, Pharrell had hair greasier than GBP's cunt, and greatest swordsman was killed by Trant. 3, Trant had armor and a big fucking sword. That's why he won.
Yep.
Pretty good points. Nice job, Glenn.
Yep.
Glad you can make it.
And unfortunately, without even seeing Sirio, Hound's not wrong about the hair.
I feel like he maybe could have, but he just noticed he was some fucking Bravosi, right? Like he's like, all I need to know, Bravosi, hair greasier than Joffrey's fucking cunt. All right, so let's go to the King's Road, where we have Brienne and Pod. I need number screenshot 107. We will be better at this next time. And Brienne questions Pod about his skills and loyalty. Abby, kick us off.
I feel like last episode she was pretty much like a hard no on the Pod situation. I don't need him. He will slow me down. And for all those reasons that she did not want him to come along, we get to see exactly why here. Her face, like, just while they're writing, like, oh my God. Like, it's just going to be a long journey. I love Pod, though, so I'm hoping for the best for him, but she's just funny in this. I told you, I can do it myself.
Yeah. Well, that's the next part. That's the
armor scene.
The armor scene.
Yeah, this is just them riding the horses, basically.
Oh no, she looks back at him. You will slow me down.
Oh, right.
And she's just sitting here rolling her eyes like we're just trotting along.
Because she's just asking him, like, what did you do? Or no, that's the next scene too. What did you do for Tyrion? But Ben, take it away.
Yeah, she asks, what do you think will happen if you leave? Well, they'll say I wasn't a good squire. And he's just honest, because she's like, you can go, you're released, you don't have to do. She's like, I have nowhere else to go, so I'm your squire, sir, my lady. That's what it is, and this is what Pod really needs. He needs a real knight to follow. He knows how to do John's technically a steward, so he needed to learn how to be a steward to be a leader. Pod needs to learn how to be a knight to live up to his potential, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's skill sets. I mean, John already had the knightly skill set, right? I mean,
exactly.
Pod has the loyalty.
Well, yeah, he has loyalty, but he has the squire skill set and the,
John needed some polishing on the politicking, which is what he got by being a steward, and Pod needs some polishing on the warrior side of it, the knightly side of it, and so that's a really interesting dichotomy between John and Pod. I mean, both are 3-letter names, so that's a good place to start. But yeah,
they both
I think
very
they
much
should
impress
be,
their women.
Yeah, clearly. But they're about the same age and are in very, very, very different spots, but have both done very heroic things.
Yeah, but both kind of. One obviously treated as a bastard. The other kind of treated as a bastard.
Right. And they both kind of made it work. I like that comparison. I haven't thought too much about Pod v. John. But Daniel Portman, who is the actor that plays Pod, his horse riding skills on display here are really impressive. To be able to fake sucking at riding a horse this well, you have to be a pretty damn good horse rider, right? I mean, you can't fake that. Like, to make the horse actually do what he's making it do and look like you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
Really, really well done. And to go along with that, he's a true son of Roderick Cassell. and only some people might get that reference. But you
Yeah,
know
I'm
who
trying
Roger
to-
Casella is, Abby? Do you remember who Roger Casella was?
By Theon, well, a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. He was the Master at Arms at Winterfell
Yes.
at the beginning of the show.
Mhm.
His name, the actor, is Ron Donachie, is actually Daniel Portman's dad.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, so the actors
Interesting.
are related.
That's cool.
But I just want to give a Roger Cassell shout out there for Pod's skills, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
I almost fell off a horse a couple times. It's not fun. I didn't look nearly that great. Not that great at all.
All right. Ben, will you read Glenn's note there?
All right. Bree is so annoyed with Pod. It's like working with someone who is slow and slows you down, and you can't help but think if you were working alone, you could get the job done quicker and more efficient. Yes. Now that's the thing, and he's completely correct on that. The problem is Brienne, and this is perfect for Brienne, she needs to learn how to teach. She knows how to follow. She needs to learn how to teach. So this is perfect for her.
She can learn to lead.
Yes.
I can see that. I'm really excited about this little combo here. They just seem perfectly suited for each other.
In what way?
In, like, Brienne, like Benji just pointed out, getting those leadership skills, being in charge, and having responsibility maybe over somebody else or guiding somebody. Whereas Pod is so loyal, and he is, I'm going to throw this out there, he's a good guy. And to learn from a knight that is of the quality that Brienne is, fighting wise, loyalty wise, that's going to do nothing but make him better. And maybe his cooking will improve. Who knows?
Let's get into his cooking. Let's move
Yeah.
on to this next scene. I need screenshot 131. I'll click a few times. We have Brienne and Pod. Pod burns a bunny and tells of his experiences. So there's the oh my gosh, it's
I love
it's
that
a
shot.
burning bunny. Oh man, so a brace of conies. There's a Lord of the Rings reference for you. I know Benji doesn't give a shit, but that's okay. But oh man, that's such a good screen cap. Man, you're killing it with these.
Whatever. I missed what you said. Sorry, the reference.
Oh, a brace of
Abrasive.
conies. It's a Lord
yeah.
of the Rings reference when talking
Gotcha.
to Gollum.
Gotcha.
Boil them, stew them, mix it.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
I know that one. Yeah.
All right, so Abby, or no, Benj, kick us off here, Benj.
You can tell Pod falls under the camp of not a fan of killing, because he was talking about, I killed a man. I killed a Kingsguard, and even Brienne's like, you killed a Kingsguard? I shoved a spear through the back of his neck. And he does it, but he wasn't proud of it. He wasn't like boasting. He does it to protect his charge, but he doesn't relish in it. So it's kind of one of those of, he, appreciates that he can do it, and he, knows that it needs to be done, but he's not out for the glory of that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It was his duty. That was it. He, like you said, didn't relish in it, and just had the obligation and did the job that needed to be done. He would do it again.
Yeah.
But it's not something that he's going to go out looking for. It's not something he's going to actively put himself in that situation because he wants to. I like Pod. He's just a good bloke. He's just a good guy. I don't know. Abby, thoughts on this scene? He's cute. Come on, look at him.
That's what I was actually just gonna say. Like, he's such a cute kid.
I love that look.
And
Yeah, Brienne.
the way
Sorry.
No, you're good. The way that he does look like, and he's seeking. I feel like he is seeking knowledge. He wants to absorb as much as he possibly can, and he's trying his best, like with what he has.
And-
Go ahead, Benj.
No, I was just gonna say, and you're right. And he doesn't make the same mistake twice. Like, as far as we're shown, he does. If he's told he screwed something up, he fixes it, or he, corrects it and everything like that. So it's one of the it's I was just kind of adding to that of what you
Yeah,
were saying. So
he just wants to learn. He is a seeker of knowledge. He wants to be good at his job. And I really like Pod. I really like Brienne. The ending here, she does kind of like soften towards him, and that's when I'm like, yep, it's go time. All right, this duo is their thing. This is gonna be good.
Is she gonna learn the Pod's kiss or whatever?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a pretty
I don't
fair
think
bet that's not gonna happen.
No, I mean it might make her like, if she could actually like, chill out for a minute and let go, just let be, what it would probably be good for her morale.
She
But
just get herself one.
yeah, but she's not. It's not gonna happen,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So this
My
is
humble opinion.
right. This is also the scene where they really discuss like what he did for Tyrion. Before they even talked about him killing a Kingsguard, and he's like, I did all these stewardly things, and mostly I poured wine. I think Pod would be very welcome in this studio, is all I'll say.
yes, very much so, and he can handle his wine a bit, and we've seen him drink a few times.
If it was easy, everyone would do it, drinking all day.
Yeah.
All right, does Glenn have anything good to say? I mean, he never does, but Pod is
I
trying.
kind of stole his.
Oh, okay, then I won't touch on it again because you did it.
The
All right.
smirk.
All right, so we are going to do, before we get into our last shit ton of scenes, all at one place, I believe. Quick shout out to Ice and Fire Con. Woo! Coming next April in just south of Columbus, Ohio. We'll be there. I forget which weekend it is. It's in April, middle of April.
25th.
Weekend of the 20th. Yeah, the 26th is in there because it's my husband's birthday.
Yeah.
So.
The weekend of the 25th and or 26th.
25th is the Thursday.
I'll be there on the 25th. And I hope to see you guys all there. It was so much fun. Glenn, Dog, and I, Luca Ferocious, went last year and met so many really, really cool people in the community that you hear on podcasts, you see on YouTube videos and things like that, and just other really, really cool people in the fandom. It's really intimate. It's really a good place to go get drunk. I'll tell you that. It's a lodge. It's almost like summer camp for book nerds. And
I heard today that there's a scavenger hunt and drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like my 16-year-old dream right here. Summer camp with a scavenger hunt. I did ask about canoes. Not sure about those yet.
I think it's a little early in the year. There's definitely a lake. It looks awesome for sure. I don't think it's a little cold,
okay.
But it looks like a great place to go later in the summer for a summer lodge type place. There's also a golf course there as well. But there is a scavenger hunt. I forget what they call it.
Something of Faceless Men.
And there's also a Faceless Man game, which is kind of like the game Assassins, if you've played that before, where everyone has a name, and you have to go find that person before the person who has your name finds you.
Oh, nice.
And the costume contests are awesome. The talent contests are awesome. That was where Scad from Davos Fingers did his Broken Man speech, which is... I mean, if you haven't seen that on YouTube, please go check that out. It's on the Ice and Fire Con YouTube channel. Incredible, incredible stuff. But we hope to see you there. Abby, go ahead.
I can interrupt you one more time. I'm not going to give anything away, but I just want to throw this out there. Luke has the most amazing idea. If there is a costume contest, and this comes to fruition, you have no chance. That's it.
I'm not aware of this one, so I will find out later. But Bernie, I love that the Inside Kids summer camp.
Yeah, kind of. It really kind of is. But if you do want to go, please check out their website, and at checkout use promo code DRINKS, and we can get a nice little cut, and you'll get a nice little cut off of your ticket price. Awesome. Yep. So hope to see you guys there. You guys ready to head towards some of this final action? It's extended final action. Where's this?
I'm not gonna lie, this was a bitch to scene breakdown.
Yeah. No, I noticed that. I was like, wow. it's weird because like this actually all truly happens after everything else that we've had. So everything from here truly is chronological, which will make screenshots even easier. But we are going to start with Crasters, and we have Locke, Bran, Jojen, Mira, and Hodor. Locke scouts Craster's hut. Jojen shares his vision of the future. Abby.
Well, mine's kind of, I think it's towards the end of this section we're talking about, and talks to Benji's point too. The fire hand thing. That's
on that one.
Okay.
I can't even say I understand it. Like it like I'm kind of got the, especially for what happens later in the scene. I got everything else he was talking about, but why the fuck was his hand burning? You know,
but then I didn't even understand if that was happening like in his vision beyond Bran that he could only see, or if that's like happening in the hut. Like, does he have fireball hands?
That's his sight.
Yeah. Okay. It's just maybe the fire for the fire at the end. I don't know.
So, well, let's unpack a little bit what he was talking about. What was he talking about? He was saying, you know, this is not where we die. And we see, right, and we see, you know, I'll flip back to it, this picture where he says, you know, Mira, Hodor, and I are just here to get you where you need to go. We are only transit for you, essentially. Yeah. And he goes on to say, this is not the end for us, any of us. And then his hand's on fire. What could that mean, Abby?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He dies in a fire.
I mean, that to me, symbolism-wise, that would be like the natural thing that I would think of. I mean, I'm not giving anything away. At this point, him seeing that, he's talking about his end, and he sees his hand on fire. To me, that would scream, wow, okay, he's probably going to be burned alive, or something to do with it. That's just where, like, my instinctual, in your head, timeline.
No, that makes sense, because as you're asking me that, like, all I can think of is, like, he's talking about getting Bran there. They're just, like, a vehicle to do that. He's on fire, so he burns up. But right now, in this little hut, it's a little confusing, the imagery, but I guess that's where we're kind of supposed to go with it, even though it seems a little strange. Is that fair? It seems a little like, okay.
Absolutely fair. Ben, do you have other thoughts on this? Just the fire hand thing?
Yeah, the fire hand thing. I mean, kind of everything else, you know, kind of made sense with it. And I was trying to remember the scene. I think I was jumping ahead to the next part with my thoughts on it. Forgot that this scene happened. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I guess, have we seen the weirwood tree before?
Not this one. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so
not looking like that, I will say.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of weirwood trees, but the weirwood tree on the hill like this, we have not seen this.
We've never seen that one. Okay, I couldn't remember from a brand vision of.
It just looks incredible. I love the look of this weirwood tree, and like, so I actually made this our Facebook group cover photo, and I was like, hopefully Abby doesn't see this and get anything weird out of it. I was like, we're getting there real soon. It doesn't really give anything away.
Even looked at the Facebook, so.
Well,
fair enough.
Here's a recommendation. Check out our Facebook group. Find us on Facebook. Something we don't really sell here, but yeah, we have that. And this is not this specifically, but the tree itself is our header image there, and it's so beautiful. I think it just looks awesome to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and so Glenn's note was, "You must not let anything stop you." And he goes on to, they have me chained up. Yeah, I'm chained up, jackass. You know, he was basically telling him, hey, you got to get into summer. You got to, you know, get away from here kind of thing. But, you know, at the same time, yeah, fuck you. Fine, I'll get in summer because he has thumbs and shit that can release us. Right. You know?
And even he's locked up somewhere else, right?
Yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah. All right, so let's head on to the next scene where we have Locke, John, Gren, Ed. Locke gives the lay of the land and warns to avoid some hounds. Benj, kick us off.
Locke is really good at getting people to trust him. Even Gren was like, all right then, because he's like, and I'm not gonna steal your line, but yeah, Locke goes on to say, "Have you ever seen me with knives?" Because going into your line there, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, Gren kind of shows some respect for Carl's knifemanship, and kind of hearkening to the History Channel Forged in Fire. It will cut. If you've ever seen Forged in Fire.
I've seen it 2 times at your house.
While getting ready to record. That's
yes,
probably true. Or right after recording.
It was good to...
It was good to what?
Good to swing or whatever. Like, have you ever seen the commercials for him? Put your weight into it. Oh, wait, he did. I see him all the time because I'm obsessed with the History Channel Forged in Fire.
Yeah. All right, Abby, what do you got in the scene?
I had the thought of this right at the beginning when he's like, Night's Watchman, or brothers. He says brothers right away. Ooh, light as a feather. Make no sounds. And they're like, ooh, you are quiet. That's a good skill. Good skill.
I'm very sneaky, sir. I think you underestimate my sneakiness.
Yes.
Yep.
Very, very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Is that Mr. Deans?
Yes.
Very sneaky.
So let's all sneak back over because we are going to talk about Carl, Bran, Jojen, Mira, Hodor, and Rast. Carl wants to have his fun with Mira. Jojen gives him a warning. I saw you die tonight. Suck it, bitch.
Yeah.
The end of that scene where, Carl's just being a total douche, right? I mean, I'm going to rape your sister. And Jojen's doing, like, the only thing he can, right? Take it away, Benj.
Yeah, that does kind of go to my notice. I know you're trying to save your sister from a good raping, but do you always have to be like this super creepy kid? It just a little on the creepy factor. I get it. He got the job done, but it's like, Trojan, really? You could be like, I don't know, dial back the creepiness to about a 7.
He's gotta be compelling enough to distract him from rape. I think Carl's seeing pink.
Yeah.
My note on this was not too long ago, Luke told me about some shorthands that I can use on the computer, and one I believe was X, duck it. So I thought that was pretty good.
you just the letter X as a suck it on your computer. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I thought I'd put that as my note to, make Luke proud of me and all the computer knowledge I've learned over the last couple weeks here. So, suck it, asshole. I don't know.
Benj, what were you saying?
I was saying we got 2 words for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Sorry.
D-Generation X is
proud to bring to you the tag team champions of the world. Sorry. Anyway.
The only wrestler is the guy that I used to like on the one game we played that was wrestling, and the song was, I think I'm cute.
Shawn Michaels.
I know I'm sexy. That's it. I picked him every time.
That drive the girls wild. I got the moves.
That really move them.
And sends chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy. All right.
Here's the bad thing. I'm the wrestling fan in all of this, and it's sad that you guys all know that shit.
It's not
sad. No, that's all.
I shouldn't say
sad.
I shouldn't say sad. It's sad thing. I still watch, and you all know.
That's the only one of all of them I know. The only one.
Heartbreak.
And it's just a song.
All right. So then
shit
kind of hits the fan, right? John, Locke, Gren, Ed, Bran, Hodor, Mira, Jojen are all involved in this next portion of the scene, and John leads the charge. Locke finds Bran, Hodor fucking doors, and the crew leaves the Night's Watch behind. Who's got a good point here? Ben, she probably.
I'm
has a
gonna
good
steal
point.
the Glenn's first.
Glenn's first. Yeah,
Glenn
yeah.
definitely has a good point here.
Yeah, Hodor is badass breaking chains and breaking necks. An interesting decision made by Bran as he's choose his mission over family. Goes later in the scene, and that kind of ties into mine. It's like, damn, Hodor, that's easily got to be one of the top 5 brutal deaths in the entire series. Go about 3 or 4 more.
He doesn't even just snap like his neck. Like you see collarbone
Yeah.
and like spot. Like it's
Yeah.
very like rip it off.
I wish we
But-
could full screen this one just because. Yeah, from there to the next one is just, oh my god, and I love that. You know, when I
The
saw-
bones.
holy
Ooh.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Hodor's reaction to seeing Locke's body on the ground is devastated,
It
right?
is.
I mean, because the last thing he knew, he was frustrated that he was locked down, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he blacks out or whatever, wakes up to seeing this mangled mess of a person he's probably never seen in his life.
No.
And you know, there's blood on my hands, and
Well, he did see him in the hut with
Yeah.
Bran, because Bran worked as he was getting carried out. So, I
This
did see-
scene
Okay,
just
yeah,
it just
barely though.
but yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he definitely is a Lenny,
Yes.
Bernie,
yes.
as it,
Yes.
yeah, I like to pet the rabbits.
Of
And-
mice and men.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Was that John
Locke.
Steinbeck?
Yes,
It is.
sir. This just makes me sad for Bran and Hodor both. To what we were talking about earlier, Hodor, because it's not his choice to kill this guy, and they call him a simpleton or whatever. But I think that he has enough intelligence to realize that with his hands this happened, and now somehow he needs to work through that. It also makes me sad because Bran made this choice. It makes me sad for him because I think he's going to carry that heaviness within himself. Like, I made somebody else do this.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy call. I'm not upset with Bran for making this call. I think it was a hard decision. It was the right decision, but now he lives with this.
Yeah.
So it's
Because
just
not
sad.
only is this the first time Bran's killed anybody, it's the first time Hodor's killed anybody, and it wasn't by choice on Hodor's
Right.
part.
Or
So-
his accident, or his like misgivings, or Bran actively made him do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sad.
No, definitely. And so later in the scene, basically they're sitting watching the fighting, and Bran wants to go to Jon, but Jojen stops him. And I definitely understand the Jojen's point in this of, we need to go because if Jon sees you, you're not going any further.
Yeah.
It's a tough call, because
Do you
Bran-
really think that's true, though?
yes,
I think that's true.
yeah,
I don't
Jon
think, I
would.
don't think John would let Bran go with these two kids that he has no idea who they are, and who are also kids in his eyes,
But
And Hodor, who
and Hodor, who he knows is not the most
everything
responsible.
that Jon has seen, the magic Jon has seen, you don't think that Bran could. I don't know. I mean, I think likely this is the easiest situation, but I don't want to discredit Jon in the fact that he could have been like, look, this is a mission that has some validity. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for.
we're
I
on a
fucking
mission
knows.
from God.
We are from a
Like-
mission from Gad.
yeah, but
I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. That if anyone was going to believe Bran
Yes.
that he grew up with, it's going to be John. I mean,
Mhm.
John has seen some shit.
but that's
but-
the reason why.
Have you ever seen Giants? I have. Like,
But
like
at
I
the
just
same time, John's hasn't had to play the family loyalty card in a while, and it's different for Rob. You know, he was able to pull it back from Rob, even though he rode off, right? He rode to go join Rob's side, not knowing if Rob would cut his head off or not by betraying his oath to the Night's Watch. But Bran is a little different. That's his little brother. You know, he has
his crippled little brother.
John, I believe, would have a very, very difficult time not turning off the protector role for Bran.
Yeah.
Yes, and also John has seen what is north of the wall. John has seen the others. John has seen Mance and his army. There is no fucking chance he lets Bran go knowing what's north.
I just see it like all those points you just made, almost, besides like the army part. But he's seen what's north of the wall. All those points turn him around the other way. He has seen it. He knows there has to be some mystical something. Like, if we're having these visions, I don't know. I saw it both ways, I guess.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but I think the most logical thing of what would truly, truly happen, John would take Bran back to Castle Black.
Yeah.
Bran would prove to him that these are true things that are happening. He would show his skin changing abilities. He would show his green seer abilities. And with that, I feel like John would then support him to go where he needs to go. That's what I think.
It would have to wait until after
whatever Mance is up to.
Yeah, and would to say that Mance
get back
wouldn't succeed, or
then the wall would have to vote, and then there'd have to be a party.
Basically, the politics would likely prevent Bran from ever reaching there anytime soon.
Right,
and
for
a boy who can't walk and his only freedom is doing these scary abomination type things with Hodor and skin changing into summer, he's not going to miss his chance for absolute freedom, because he was promised that you'll never walk again, but you will fly by this three-eyed raven, and that's going to be hard for him to pass up. So he's not going to, which is the decision he makes here. So then we have Carl, John, and Mrs. Craster. One of the Mrs. Crasters. John takes on
niece Craster.
John takes on Carl and gets an assist.
I'm gonna go with Glenn's here. Don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
Don't turn your back on. Well, that's later, right? It's
fitting.
No, that's Rast. That's not Carl.
No, that's Carl. He's talking about Mrs. Craster. Don't turn your back on.
Oh, the pack of Crasters.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I read that and it's like, yeah, that has to be said.
I just wondered if maybe Carl back in King's Landing was a hibachi chef. I kept looking for the little shrimp in my pocket after he did this little.
Guess the onion volcano.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was like looking to catch one. Nothing came out of the TV. I was disappointed.
Looking for a shrimp?
Yeah, shrimp in a pocket. Yeah. Never happened.
So I'll go with mine, since it kind of ties into yours, Luke. Very cool one-on-one. Carl going easy for the most part. If he's a true knifeman, he would have carved John up in a second. You have that short distance, you can close that gap and,
get within reach.
You get in with that reach. You're not trying to block with those knives. You're not using those knives to block at all. You're ducking the sword and cutting and moving. So
doing a little reach around.
Yeah, but I think Carl here is just fucking with John. Like, honestly, I honestly think he's just kind of fucking with him. Because even right there, he gets the stab in.
Right, he cuts him on the leg, right?
Yeah, and he could easily swing down, get 4 more cuts with the other knife right in that instance. But he's not. He's toying with him. So it's just a bit more fitting to what happens next.
Bernie the Bird, Shiv Master Flash. Pretty well said. And it is. It's really, really impressive knife skills by, one, the actor, and like really pretty cool stuff. And it's a really cool one-on-one fight with, a because
Close quarter.
John's using long claw. It's a 1.5 hand sword. It's a long sword.
A bastard's blade?
A bastard blade, if we will.
I
And,
remembered something.
Yeah, 1.5 hand. So it's not quite a 2-hander, but it's more than a single hander.
Well, I'm a wine bottle in now, so I should know something.
Well,
that was the something.
That's a funny shot of Carl right there. I don't exactly know what's going. Oh, I don't know what's going on there.
This was after I think he got smacked by the Mrs. Craster.
Oh yeah. Oh, it stabbed in the back. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
And he drops both of his knives, and then just grabs the one out of his back and kind of turns on old Ms. Crasterson, and we have for the first time in just a couple episodes a classic Game of Thrones sword through the back of the head, out the mouth shot. Is this the third time we've seen this?
Well, Pod on.
We saw Pod, and I feel like we
Blackwater.
had one with Arya and the Hound at the Crossroads Inn.
I think so.
I think so. So twice
No,
this
that was
season.
through the throat. That was.
I thought we had. Either way, we've seen this a few times. This is a Dave and Dan favorite shot for sure. I appreciate the pouring on screen. That's what good drinkers do. But it's just, I don't know. I felt like it was a little cheesy at this point. Abby, first time watcher. What are your thoughts on the sword through the back of the mouth or the back of the head through the mouth?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but I enjoy it.
I think most people do. I think maybe I'm just a little desensitized to it.
Yes. My favorite part of it, though, was the fact that the pullback, like the pullout, was so very slow.
Luke, go one more picture.
Okay.
Because
I feel like
boom.
we're not like initial kill right there for some reason. And the pullback, ooh, it's so good. So slow.
Yeah. So the first shot I had there is that initial, and then it just keeps coming through. Because typically we only get the one shot through, like maybe a couple frames or whatever. This one, it was kind of an extended and pushed through where, I don't know. I like this. I always like these camera angles, or these shots, even though, fine. It might be a trope because I hadn't noticed. The one I do is the Pod at Blackwater, but they've never stuck out to me, as anything. But since you said that, Luke's like, okay, yeah, it's a trick in their bag that they have, but
It's effective.
It's effective, yeah, especially for a scene that they had to come up with on their own. It works.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So, any other final thoughts on that? Don't turn your back on Wolfpack. So our next scene is going to be Rast and Ghost. I think this is the first scene where Ghost is the only person in the scene with someone who's not John.
Yeah, probably.
But we have Rast making a break for it, and Ghost gets a snack. Yep. This is what I thought the "Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack" comment would be about.
Gotcha.
But clearly Rast is walking around trying to run off, right? Being
you can go a couple more pictures too. That's the one.
So we clearly see ghost teeth, right? I mean, wolf face.
Not gonna lie, that was the hardest goddamn shot to get in this entire
it's
thing.
Quick.
Yeah, I had to slow down to like 10% playback just to get that frame. But I'm gonna go with
0.2. I can see your percentage in the top left corner. 0.2%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to my note from last week. I told you, motherfucker, don't fuck with the hungry dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, fine. I kind of spoiled it last week that he might get, but I don't care. It was Rast fucked with him last week. He deserves it this week.
It was already. I didn't necessarily know this was going to happen. However, before I read your notes, before I saw your notes, whatever, like, why keep this dog alive? This is going to come back to bite you.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, this was just a really stupid call on their part.
Yeah.
This served no purpose to keep him alive.
My only note here is take. Like, just because he sees, oh, that kennel is open. And then he's like looking around. And it's just like, take. Just fucking gone. You're never seeing a thing again because you're kind of the worst right now. Yeah. So then Ghost gets back to John.
Wait. Oh. Final scene.
Sorry, I thought that was still part of the same thing. Didn't realize that was the break. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, every episode we have a final scene, and this happens to be this one. Digital cheers, y'all.
Chink.
There you go. These aluminum cans just do not cheers.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll stop doing that. And we have John, Gren, Ed, Summer, and Craster Wives. An old friend finds John, and the daughter wives make their own way. Abby, take us away.
Yeah. The divine secrets of the Ya sisterhood. I'm excited to. Yeah, I am just excited to see what these women later on bring. They're like, here, come with us. And they're like, fuck you, Night's Watch. We saw what you were.
Crow, but no.
No. Like, no. So I just feel like these women are finally like, freedom!
Yeah.
Who knows what we're going to see from them.
I like how Mama Craster is like, we were with Craster. He beat us. He raped us. We were with the Crows here. They beat us. They raped us. We're going to take our chances. Just don't know what may come. And, like, that's the surprising thing, too, is when they were like, burn it. Sorry, Luke, I'm not trying to jump yours.
I mean, go for it. I mean, that's kind of the end of it is like, burn it to the ground. Like, what do you want to do with that? Fucking burn it to the ground. Burn all the dead with it. Like, clean slate. Like, we just want out of this. We want our freedom. We want our liberty. And I like that John's kind of honoring that. As far as we can tell, he's like not fighting her on it. Like, hey, we're not going to force you to come back with this if you don't want to. That's a good move.
Yeah. And so my thing is with it is, so they're pretty much, they have to join Mance. I mean, that's real. They really don't have any other options at this point. If they're not going south with the Night's Watch, the keep is burnt. So what else can they do?
Here's the other thing, though, too. Do you really think that Craster did much shit besides fuck them and drink shit?
I feel like they could do exactly what they were doing on their own.
Pretty sure they're going to be just fucking fine. They've been rolling this shit for years anyways.
Oh, yeah, no. I guess my thing is because I may be wrong from source material, but the wives stayed at the keep, even, after however the Night's Watch fucking burnt out or whatever, they kept maintaining it. And so them burning down the house, now they have to go and find somewhere else to live. But
like regardless, I like what the show is doing here. It's giving these women a chance to build their own thing. You guys have said that, go their own way, Fleetwood Mac in it, if you will. And right. And regardless if they stay in the same area, they have the resources built up the way that they're used to. Burn this house down. There are no positive memories for anyone that would stay here at all. So we can use the land, but this hut, it's got to go. Like, let's
wipe it Jenny from Forrest Gump, fucking tear that shit down.
Where is Melissa when you need her? I feel like there's an Aquinas Mercy cheer about the house is on fire and we don't have no water.
Let the flames get higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a play off the Bloodhound Gang.
Let the motherfucker burn.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with, but there was definitely like a little cheer.
There was, yeah. But I do have Glenn's note on here.
Nice job, Glenn. He was here the whole episode.
He did full notes for the whole thing, unlike some people who decide, oh, I'm not going to be here this episode, but I won't do notes or anything. Sorry.
That beat me.
No, that was a shot at Luke for last week.
Even though I was here.
He did show up, yes. So Glenn has the full Locke character arc and or Snake in the Grass never comes to fruition as he is snapped at the neck by Hodor, and only Brandon Gang knows true intentions. John and the peeps never know. He's burned
That's true.
as an honorable Night's Watchman.
Yeah, they just find his body dead, and they're like, what could do that to a person?
Yeah, we lost, what, 5? I think they said we lost 4.
5, and they had lost 11. But it was like I thought they said there were 12.
Yeah,
and that's when they
like,
bumped
we
to
lost 6,
rest.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
I don't know. Interesting end to an episode, though. I feel like this is a little bit different of a note that we've ended on in a while for the final scene kind of thing. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's almost hopeful where it's at. Like, it's a little scary for where Bran's going because he's choosing to take, again, the hard path. But where John's at, it's kind of hopeful for what the women here can do. I like their opportunity at freedom for once in their entire lives.
Yeah, I do agree.
Like that it was so hard for me personally to sit there and see John so close to Bran. And I haven't seen a ton of scenes with them together, but just to be like, geez, Bran, he's right there.
Yeah.
It really did a good job of pulling at those heartstrings.
A narrow miss.
Yes.
And like,
unlike the narrow sea that
which
things can't cross.
You cannot cross the narrow sea. It's just too vast.
Had to make sure to get it in today.
And we almost went without it. But yeah, Abby, I mean that's a really good point. Like, they had every opportunity. Bran had the specific choice.
Yep.
Whether or not to make that connection, and he chose not to, which I think kind of amplifies the tenderness of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't disagree with Bran. Like, I'm not saying, Bran, you've made the wrong choice. But what good it would have done for, like, the hearts or the brotherly love. And it's like, John, just look one tick back. One tick. Like,
there's even, like, they see, he's looking, like, kind of underneath that whatever wood structure is. And, like, he's looking at John, and John, like, so closely, like, pans, like, to the camera, like, so, like, which are supposed to be Bran's eyes at that point.
Right.
And it's just like,
clearly
if
he's
he
not
just would have seen
connecting.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing he's expecting to see in the middle of a battle is his younger brother on the ground. Like, what?
Right.
Well, I don't know, a little bit different because Sam did tell him, right, that he saw him.
And that's why John also said, hey, Bran's probably up here, because that's the first place they would get to. So that would, going back to last episode, that's why I was kind of shocked about the whole Bran, because I remember this scene before last episode, and I was like, shit. So Sam actually did tell him about, Bran and all that. And so this scene, on top of it, so John's not even looking around looking for Bran, even though they had said just last episode, he's probably up around Craster's. It's kind of, one of those weird, I don't know. Like I said, that scene, I wasn't a huge fan of that scene last week. Well acted and well done. It just, I don't know, left a lot of things to be desired.
All right, well,
anyway,
let's be like Burger King and start wrapping up this Whopper. And let's get into our episode title accuracy. Episode title was First of His Name. Abby, thoughts on the episode title?
Well, I mean, Ghost is also the first of his name, so I think it could work for that scene too.
Sure. Hodor, I believe, was the first of his name.
It could work for him.
Willis.
At the first of Hodor. I mean, I think he's in canon well enough described as Hodor that understanding is 9/10 of the battle.
Yeah. My note was sure, first of his name, kind of going with your note there, Luke.
Sure. I mean, the opening scene, New Ruler, absolutely fits. It's a big scene. That's the only one they really spend on that, but I think it's kind of opening the chance for a new wave of whatever this is going to turn into. So,
and it does tie in together of at least the first few scenes with Marine and the Eerie. Basically, them all knowing Joffrey's dead. There's a young boy now, like a child sitting.
It's directly influencing those scenes. Yep.
Yeah.
So description accuracy. Cersei and Tywin plot the crown's next move.
Sure, multiple marriages.
Sure,
and
a lot of marriages
banking.
coming up. Danny
It's
discusses...
been wedding season for a while.
OMG, it's wedding season. Danny discusses future plans. Yeah, absolutely. She makes I think a really, really big decision here to stay and do the hard thing so that she can do it right. Agree, disagree?
Yep, no, agreed.
Agreed.
All right, Jon Snow embarks on a new mission.
No.
He embarked last episode, I thought.
Yes.
Well, he got the
Well,
approval.
he started out.
He got the approval last episode. He went on it this episode. I think that's fair.
The embark bothers me, but
he got approval last episode. Ed actually followed through.
Embarked and did it this episode.
All right, so
he embarked and
all right, least favorite thing. Oh, Glenn's thought on episode title accuracy was Nikolai Coster-Waldau is the first of his name since he was the first name.
Yeah.
the top billed actor. Nice job, Glenn. He's killing it. And least favorite thing. I'll start with Glenn. Glenn, what was your least favorite thing? And Glenn says, when Liza spills the beans of John Aaron's death. Okay, Benj, what was your least favorite thing?
Oh, I was gonna say, why don't you go with yours since?
Yeah, I mean, mine is Liza by design. And we talked about it. A psycho, for real.
That was the biggest, holy shit for me of this episode.
Yeah, because mine I have a little bit of a rant for. So my least favorite thing is Nikolai getting the top build for this episode. Not that he doesn't deserve other episodes. He literally did not have a fucking line this show. It should have been, if anybody, Lena Headey, because in the first 4 or 5 scenes, she fucking killed it. Multiple scenes, multiple different actors to play off of. She should have gotten the top bill. Them giving it to Nikolai, to me, it was bullshit. It's one of those along the lines of, Peter Dinklage wasn't in the episode at all. Take him off, put somebody else in. But watch the fucking episode you're titling or you're crediting and give it where it's due. Literally, we saw one shot of Jamie in the throne room. That's it. Yeah. He doesn't deserve top build on this episode.
He was just there, right?
He was just there. Yeah, he was just standing by Tommen. That's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know it goes by paycheck. It really does. And
is that where it is?
Oh, pretty much.
It is.
Yeah.
And it sucks that.
It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I don't think we want to get deep into something that we're probably unqualified to talk about, but the pay discrepancy between male and female
equal
actors.
Pay for equal work. That's all I gotta say about that shit.
And that's the end of it, I think, because you're absolutely right. And Benji, you're absolutely right. Lena Headey, incredible. I mean, the most important actor in this episode, I think, and I think it should go by. Not
screen time. I mean, honestly, I go screen time. Go screen time alone.
Yeah,
Lena Headey.
That would be an easy way to give your top bill.
Well, I mean, I do agree with Luke. If Peter Dinklage even has one scene, he's a top paid actor. He is the top build.
Well, if I'm going to go engineer semantic on the way it really should be, it should go by pay times time screen divided by how much they suck, and.
So Bernie says in the chat that she feels like, I'm guessing you're a girl, Bernie, sorry, but I think so from your picture. I feel like they do it at random. They just shuffle the names. It kind of makes no sense.
But they really do, actually. Peter Dinklage is always top, at least since season 2.
It's
unless
per episode.
Unless he's not in the episode itself. Yes.
That's so crazy.
But it's... Yeah, with this one, I don't know why it bothered me because I again doing the notes and I saw Nikolai's top build. I saw that first thing before.
And I like him,
which is fine. In general, I'm fine with that. He's a great actor. Again, did nothing in this episode. He was just happened to be an extra. Honestly, for this, he was an extra. Yeah.
So, like I said, I had I wanted everybody else to go with theirs because I was going to rant and holding off until this part to do it. So,
I appreciate your rant, Benji. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Abby, what was your least favorite thing this episode?
So I tried to write it in here, but then I realized that I was writing in cereal, like breakfast cereal for real, like the milkshakes for reals. So I don't like that I get the confirmation that cereal for real, at least in Arya's mind, is dead. Bullshit. Don't like it. Not having it. Least favorite. Hurt my heart to hear.
I want to give a real quick shout out to Abby's tweet that she had on August 8th, 4 days ago, while she was watching this, because this to me was a pretty fun time. But so she tweets at Gertie, go home Gertie, watching Game of Thrones season 4 episode 5, first of his name. What? Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Are you kidding me? Question mark! Exclamation point! Question mark! Exclamation point! Question mark! Exclamation point! Old news to most, but to me, the anger is fresh. And so you left it a little bit vague as to what you were talking about. But Mike Mikeson, one of our oldest friends on the show, at the 3 Mike says, "Is that the one where Tyrion kills and eats Ghost?"
Yeah.
Hilarious. And Abby says, "Well, I haven't seen that yet. So thanks for the spoiler. #seriously." And so I responded at Luca Ferocious, Mike, that's after the episode where Essos gets hit with meteors and is from then on called Meteoros. And so Abby says #just stop, and Mike Mikeson just rolls on the floor laughing. But I thought it was worth checking out because I think clearly you were talking about Liza
Yes.
and how fucking bonkers she turned to be like that.
Yes.
All right. But worth checking out. Check Abby out on Twitter at GoHomeGertie. So, favorite thing. Glenn, why don't you go first? Glenn says, the Battle at Crafters with so many wins for the good guys. And yeah, I mean, it was good fights, good nights. And Benj, favorite thing.
Hodor going ham. I mean, as much as it sucked for Hodor. But as much as it sucked for, him
The
waking
fallout.
up to that, but just seeing his true strength that he has, because I'll put it that maybe 3 people in this show, as of this point, could do that. The Mountain, maybe the Hound, maybe on a skinny, scrawny Arya, and Hodor. That's pretty badass company to be in for strength-wise.
We saw the Hound do something similar to that a couple episodes ago, right? In the Crossroads Inn. He did the eye.
Snap.
Oh, it was the stab through the eyes when he was on the ground. That's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, I agree. For what we've seen show-wise, yeah, absolutely. Abby, what was your favorite thing?
I'm going to go with just pod skills. Really the whole him and Brienne
package.
Yeah,
the whole pottage.
Oh my gosh. It is just like so charming. And he knows he's sucking, which is the best part.
He's trying so hard.
He's like, here's my smile because I know it's really bad. I just find him charming. He's kind. He's loyal. And I like in the end that we see Brienne softening to it. Like she gets it finally. So just those two together, I'm really excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you appreciate Pod in that way. And that's like the part that I love about Pod, and that's why I had kind of a problem with the overselling the Pod sexual prowess. Like,
yes.
It's funny. Like I get it. I think it kind of undercuts him as a kind, fun, normal fucking person.
Like who he really is, other than being able to slay the dragon real well.
I'm definitely not against it. I just think it was a little bit overdone. Is my only point on that. But my favorite thing, and this is one of those, it's going to be a little bit hard to beat. Like, in general, Arya water dancing for the Hound.
Yep.
This scene, if I was going to tell anybody to, like, hey, do you want to feel for what Game of Thrones can be like? Like, yeah, you hear it's all sex, and it's all basically just, like, nudity on TV, which really hasn't happened, like, at all. I mean, the beginning of this season with Oberyn in the brothels, like that was about it, right? I mean, But that's how people describe the show. It's tits and dragons, and sometimes there's cock. But like, there's really good character moments, and there's really funny stuff, and there's so much to unpack on this. But like Arya water dancing for the Hound, we get so much from her as to where she comes from, and we get so much from, you know, Sandor Clegane on where he comes from, and it's just hilarious the way, like, his reactions to everything that she takes so seriously.
And her dance in general is beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
I think she's
it's
doing a very good job at what she was taught.
beautiful.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of back when I was young as shit doing taekwondo and stuff. They're called I want to say katyas or something, where they're martial arts movements where it's all fluid. You have to, you know, hit the right point and you're scored on. That scene very much reminded me of that. It is a training thing. It's a way to get your body in motion, body moving. But that scene, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's one of those, you see her just taking it seriously and doing, you know, because that takes to have the skill she was performing at takes a lot of fucking practice. When you don't have any training at all, you know, in anything like that, to be as fluid as she is, it takes a lot of practice. And she didn't have a lot of time with Sirio. So
this, Abby, I'm sure you've picked it up now, but every time we've talked about Marin Trant, we've called him Marin fucking Trant.
Yes.
That's from this scene. I'm sure you picked it up. But
I just thought that was his name.
Specifically.
Like, fucking Trent. Just like when I talk about Peter Baelish, it's Microfinger. I can't even call him anything else.
Right. It's just, he's Marin fucking Trent. And
Marin fucking Trent.
Like the way the Hound talks to Arya here, like, because at first he's a little bit like kind of curious as to where she's coming from, and then he just like is like kind of blown away like at what she says, like, oh, the greatest swordsman, and she was like, well, he was killed, and he's like, killed by who? And she was like, Marin Trent. And he's like, wait a second, Marin fucking Trent? Like hold on a second, like this just changed levels on how believable you are right now. Very, very well acted.
Like
hilarious.
a common person, you know, like somebody you kind of grew up with or know well, and you're like, that's who the greatest swordsman was killed by?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The greatest swordsman of the world didn't have a sword. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's just great.
Yeah.
But that wraps us up for this episode. Please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/stayimaginary for all of the other ways that you can help keep our beer bank full. Check out the podcastthat.com/support us. There's a lot of cool things on there, like our TeePublic store, which we have our Sanrixian designed from episode 1, the episode that we were just referencing with the Hound fighting for Arya at the Crossroads Inn.
The goddamn chickens. Two chickens.
The fucking chickens. I'm going to have to eat every fucking chicken in this goddamn place. But we have our Lumber Like an Umber t-shirt up on TeePublic right now, so please find our link to that in our Support Us page. Another podcast that we run is the podcast that must not be named. Benji, please tell us about it.
Yeah, the podcast that must not be named is a chapter-by-chapter read-through with our co-host here, Luke, and our other sometimes guest, Melissa. She's been on like one episode of our show here. They go through chapter by chapter of Harry Potter, and right now we're wrapping up on book 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, in about 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, we're wrapped up. I mean,
well, no, I'm saying 4 to 5 weeks for the release of Goblet.
Oh, yeah. So
roughly.
Right now we just released our end of book unrestricted section recap.
Yep.
We just put out our full group discussion today on Sunday. This episode of Drinks and Nose will come out on Wednesday. And next week we have our movie review, and then we're gonna take 2 or 3 weeks off. So yeah, five weeks from now we'll be starting book 4.
Yeah. Book 4, Goblet of Fire, my favorite book in the series. And hey, spoilers, I'm actually doing all the chapter summaries so they can be slack off and not have to work as hard. So you'll be able to hear me every week on that show as well.
So lazy. We're so lazy.
I know.
Good for you guys.
But
Smart idea.
if you've never read the series, which I highly doubt anybody listening to us has not, but if you haven't or you don't know anybody that has, listen to it with them as they read through because they go spoiler free. It's completely like with Abby here. We don't do any spoilers as best we can. It's very well done. It's way more deep than anything I'd want to get into. Sometimes they go pretty intricate with stuff, but they make it fun for the young readers. For the new time, we have Abby, who is our Quidditch correspondent, and a few other guests and random pop-ins from time to time. So give us a listen. It's a good time. It's a good way to spend your Monday mornings at work.
Abby, can you tell us what kind of first-time watcher on the wall predictions or speculations that you might have?
Okay, so I'm only prepared for one tonight, but you can give me more if you'd like. Number 1. I think Microfinger, as Benji said in the book specifically, he wanted to be doing this in front of the Lords. He says in the show, like, tonight, okay, fine, tonight, whatever, to get married. He wants to be married in front of the Lords to make this official because Miss Liza is going to be offed. Off with her head. Actually, maybe not off with her head. Maybe through the, I just threw my pen. What's it called?
Through.
The hole
in the
door? Ground, and the green grass grows all around. I guess, the moon door.
The moon door bee. That's Glenn's newspaper.
The moon door bee. Anyways, I think that Microfinger wants some Sansa for him, and he just needs to marry this chick, let everybody know loud and proud that he's the husband so he can be Lord of the Eyrie. I don't really know. Or Vale. And then she's going to be offed.
Okay.
See you later, Liza.
Who else can we talk about? Let's talk about
Arya Hound.
Arya Hound. That's where I was going.
I don't think Arya kills the Hound. I don't think, even if like her whole list she doesn't end up killing, and maybe she does. I don't know. I think before they part ways, she has taken him off the list.
Okay. Let's go with Oberyn.
Oberyn does not. He is not on Team Cersei. I think he upholds his promise to give whatever gift.
Vendetta.
No, like whatever gift, like could you tell Marcella this or whatever? I think that he upholds that end of his speech. But no, I think that Oberyn, vendetta is a good thing. But no, Oberyn is pissed about his sister. He is mad. He is mad at the Lannisters. Cersei's little speech doesn't.
You got one more for her?
I do. Dany. Staying in Marine.
I think she just stays there for a while. I don't know. I mean,
where do you think it's going to end up? I mean, give me some kind of specific guess. Like what's going to happen?
So I think she just So she left Astapor and things kind of changed back to the way they were, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone who was as bad or worse.
The butcher or whatever. So
over.
I think she might kind of those oversights. Maybe she writes those. She just learns, creates this whole nation of people who are great. And I don't think she moves on Westeros for another season or two. Like, I think she just learns to rule. I don't know. The highs and lows with it.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up here. Let's go through our house stuff. And I'm gonna let's do the abbreviated one.
Yeah.
All right, Abby, kick us off.
What is the abbreviated one, Luke?
I'm doing it right now.
Name one.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. All right. I am Gertie of House Condescension. My house words are, we don't quit. My house sigil is a field of white with a raven sitting atop a black, up-pointed chevron. My famous ancestor is Casey Jones, and you can find me on my personal Twitter at GoHomeGertie. My final thought, sorry?
No, go for it, sorry.
Final thought, good episode. All season 4 has been a good so far.
And I am not Glenn of House Dog, and my house words are not, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take. My house sigil is not a Spuds McKenzie with a Wayne Gretzky LA Kings jersey, number 99 on. My famous ancestor is not the Doof of Dunsandale. And you cannot find me on my personal Twitter at Popsicle Stand. Final thought, Glenn wishes he could have been here. Ben.
All right, I am Sly of House McLean. My house words are, it's dangerous to drink alone. My house sigil is 3 golden triangles on a field of red and black. My famous house ancestor is my great uncle John, the savior of winter celebrations. And my personal Twitter is at Sly McLean. My final thought is, okay, let's move on to the next. But good episode.
My house name is Lucan of House Blackmaid. Ours is the drink are our words. We have an obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background. Our famous house ancestor is Ashmere Rivers. You will learn more about him later. And my personal Twitter is at Luca Ferocious. Final thought, I love season 4. It's been real good. And please become a patron. Get access to our epilogue episodes in general. And check us out on patreon.com/stayimaginary to join our Slack chat, all sorts of different things, and our merchandise clubs, seasonal merchandise clubs. For all the ways that you can help keep our beer bank full, please do check out thepodcastthat.com/support us. Follow us on Twitter at KnowAndDrink. Send us a digital raven at knowandDrink@gmail.com. We would really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, rate, and leave some comments on iTunes or YouTube. The comments on iTunes really go a long way to helping us reach a broader audience and more cool people like you whose ears we are in right now, you beautiful eared people. And until next time...
As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
And as always, stay imaginary.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Special for the YouTube video and live chat.
Yes. Yes. So I just put this out to the live chat. Anyone still here? And of course, Bailey responds. And thank you, Bailey.
Maybe
Yes.
she's still there.
So I put out of any ideas for an epilogue. Luke, are you down or?
Oh, I gotta work real early.
I do too. I mean, I gotta be up at 6 a.m. So if you want to say no on it, that's fine. I just was gonna throw it out if anybody had an idea.
So this was 5.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to jump off here real quick.
Yeah, it's 101. So.
101 my time.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yep, the river.
I don't work like you. I'm a really spoiled fucking bitch. So, you
Yeah,
know.
you are basically the worst. You basic bitch.
A basic spoiled bitch. Sorry. I just really
I only
have to
said that
pee.
because you're my sister.
I know. Otherwise, I'd kill you. I mean, I just would. However,
Nah, I'm
Love you.
thinking no epilogue episode this time.
All right.
We will do
Well-
an extended one next time.
Okay. Well, because we got Chloe, right?
That's on
No.
episode 7.
7. So 6 we
Mockingbird.
got nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
At Lasnarber, Chloe
Yeah.
Ketchum will be joining us.
So, but 6 we got no guests, so we want to shoot for next Sunday again. I think guests.
Sure.
Well, I'm saying
Let's
guests.
end the stream and we'll figure this out.
all right. See you guys.
Good night, people now. Be people
Bye.
now, people now. People, being people now.
Oh, look, I'm not even off here. I try to close you guys out.
Man,
and
you're
I'm
really
still
bad at
here.
technology. All right, the stream has
Good.
ended.